I was out in my garden, taking the washing off the line. It was late, after 6 p.m. I'd been watching TV all day and had forgotten all about it. I'd just put the last few socks from their pegs and dropped them into the basket, reaching down to pick it up and carry it back to the house. I looked up, and suddenly I stopped. There, standing in the middle of the patio, was a man, a tall man, gaunt and looking slightly odd, though I couldn't put my finger on exactly what. He wore an old-fashioned grey suit with scuffed grey shoes. He stared at me, his face expressionless. Over the initial surprise, I stiffened up and asked, "Can I help you?" He did not reply, standing motionless before me. His lack of reply made me nervous. I asked again, a bit more insistently, "Can I help you?" Again, he said nothing, his expression unchanging. I stepped forward, placing the basket on the iron table that we used for barbecues during the summer, and then I moved closer to him. "You're trespassing. If you have nothing to say, then you're going to have to leave." I was firm in my words, not wanting to let him know that I was nervous. He still didn't reply, still not having moved from where I first noticed him. Then, something sparked in my brain. I'd not heard the gate. Our gate made a very distinctive noise when someone opened it. It could be easily heard, even inside the house, but I'd not heard it tonight. I was suddenly very afraid. If he had not used the gate, then he must have climbed over the wall, I thought. But why? Our gate couldn't be locked. He didn't have to climb the wall. I would have heard that too. I had no idea how the man had been able to get into the garden without me noticing. I could only guess as to his intentions. Was he here to rob the house? Was he here to hurt me? Kill me? All sorts of thoughts run through my mind. Trying to make sense of it, I did my best to shake off the fear, taking a deep breath and raising my voice. "Sir, please leave or I'll call the police." Unsurprisingly, he did nothing. He just stood there, staring at me. I summoned up all of my courage and stepped towards him, grabbing his arm and pushing him towards the gate. "Alright, out!" I shouted, pushing his stiff form towards the gate, pulling it open and throwing him outside. I got one last look at those cold eyes staring at me before I slammed the gate shut, silently cursing my father for removing the bolt many years ago, the remnants of it sitting there proud, almost mocking me with its uselessness. I grabbed the basket and headed back into the house, locking the door behind me. I heaved a sigh of relief, thinking that it was all over and busied myself with making dinner. I sat down with my pizza and watched a film for the next 2 hours, by which time it was dark outside, and the wind was blowing loudly around the house. I headed upstairs, passing by the window that looked out over the communal courtyard we called the square. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a figure standing in the middle of the square. I moved closer to the glass, trying to make it out. It was the man. He was standing there, motionless, just staring up at me. My blood ran cold. My parents would be home in a few hours. What if he was still there when they arrived? Would he hurt them? I ran to my room, grabbing the phone, and dialed my dad's number. "Hey mate, what's up?" came his voice down the line. I launched into an explanation of what had happened with the man, telling that after 2 hours, he was still standing outside the gate, staring up at the house. What the hell am I supposed to do? Should I call the police? My father was a police officer himself, and we lived a stone's throw away from the local station, though at this time of night, it was closed. Yes, ask them to send an officer and move him along. The square is technically still police property after all. I hung up, picking up the phone again and dialing 999. Hello? You're through the emergency service hotline. Which service do you require? Police, fire, or ambulance? The woman at the other end of the phone asked. Police, I replied. I'll just connect you now, the woman stated. I explained the situation to the police operator, telling her that the man had been trespassing and refused to leave, and that I'd been forced to eject him from our property, but he was still standing outside hours later. I was concerned for my parents, who would be home soon. Don't worry, an officer has been dispatched and will be with you shortly. He will deal with this man and come to your door and tell you when he's been moved along. Stay on the line until the officer arrives. I brought the phone to my bedroom window, looking out at the man standing in the middle of the square. He was staring at me. About 10 minutes passed when I saw the top of a policeman's hat going along the alleyway outside my window. The officer is here, I told the operator, watching the policeman walk towards the man. Alright, I'm going to end the call now. Is that okay? You can call us again if you have any more problems. I sighed, seeing the policeman trying to engage the man in conversation. Okay, I replied to the operator. Thank you. She terminated the call and I put the receiver back in its cradle. I saw the policeman grab the man's arm and lead him off back down the alleyway, releasing him and giving him a push down the street. To my relief, the man complied, skulking off down the street without looking back. I sighed again, as if a huge weight was suddenly lifted from my shoulders. I heard the doorbell ring and I went down to unlock the door, opening it and seeing the policeman standing there on the doorstep, smiling reassuringly. I moved him along for you, sir. Hopefully he won't come back, but if he does, don't hesitate to call us again. Thank you, officer. I smiled back and he nodded, adjusting his hat and walking to the gate, giving a wave as he left. I closed the door and locked it again, going back up to my room and silently thanking any gods who were listening that that man had left. 3 years have passed since then, and I've not seen hide nor hair of the man, though he still occasionally haunts my dreams. I noticed it's starting to rain outside, so I grab the washing basket and head out to get the washing before the line gets wet. As I drop the last of the clothes into the basket and stoop up to pick it up, I look up and I see someone in scuffed grey shoes walking towards me. Thank you for listening to the end. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to click that like button, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon to make sure you never miss a story.